Hey y'all, it's Friday now, it's the 23rd. What's going on? October, coffee time. So, 50 years ago, I understand today is the release date of this album. There it is. Genesis Trespass was, I just caught it on, someone was talking about it on the internet. 50 years ago today, this was released. Actually, their second album, but to them and to most people, that's their first album, where they were named Genesis proper because their first album was called From Genesis to Revelation. Whole story behind that. There was an American band called Genesis at the time. I had the album. Man, I wish I had kept it. I'll probably play this. But I'd like to make an offer. So I've made a few records, and some of y'all know them. Some of you have them. Number 3 was the first one I put on vinyl. Then number 2, and then I went back. And Nice is actually the first effort at a solo album that I made back in the year 2000, and then finally had it pressed up. I had a certain amount pressed up in yellow vinyl, and those are all gone. I mean, I have a few. I just have a few, but it's sold out officially. Interestingly, I had more yellow vinyl made than black. I only had 100 black vinyl copies made, and yet I still have maybe 15, 20 copies of the black vinyl left for sale. And my own appreciation of this album has grown over time. You other musicians and artists know what I'm talking about, where when you're too close to something, and this was such an effort, and it was like a piecemeal thing that I was trying to put together a representation of me in an album form for the first time. And so I've, for many years, been very critical of it looking back. But partially through you all, you folks who have bought this and have sent me letters and commented online about how much you like it and what's good about it, have helped me to appreciate my own work. Well, what I'd like to do is do for the next 3 sales of this black vinyl, I'm going to include for free a copy of the very first record I ever made. This is by the band Norman and the Rockwells, our mental health EP. This came out, 1981? Yep, 1981. Very first time I was in a recording, no, not that, first time on record. We made up our own mock label, Weasel Records. I don't know how many of these were made, but when we first made this and the band distributed copies to one another, mine were gone almost immediately. I was so excited and gave them away, sold them. And then when I started working with Scudder a few years ago, this fella here, the drummer, Tom Ware, also joined Scudder with me. And I got around to asking Tom about if he had any of these. And sure enough, he had boxes of them just sitting in a closet. So I was able to get a few from him, not very many. But what I'd like to do is offer the next three purchases of Nice get a free copy of my very first EP. Just thought I'd offer that, okay? I don't. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so I'll leave the link to Bandcamp. 3 people can become owners of the Norman and the Rockwells, as well as Nice. Last night I was getting into some Amandul and looking at my collection. It's not complete, but I actually wanted to see, do I have, this is one of my favorites, Dance of the Lemmings, but God's Phallus. I don't think I found that one. I was looking and looking, and there it is, yeah. Phallus Day. This is some psychedelic shit. Amandul 2, the realness. That's what I was playing last night, really getting into it as I carefully watched parts of the debate, which just nauseate me. Now, I went ahead and bought this. These are recordings this is the first time they're on vinyl. Charlie Parker. Some dates from 52 and 53. This is a record store day release. I went ahead and broke down and bought it. It's so nice on blue vinyl. But what's cool about this, and it's really made it cool to me, is my younger brother Patrick is a jazz musician and a jazz purist. And he knows bebop. I mean, not only can he play, but he knows the history. So when he stopped by this week for a COVID visit, I pulled it out, and he had never seen it before, first off, so he was interested. And then when we put it on, his face just lit up. He said, I've never heard any of this before. Turns out these recordings were released on CD in 2000. Apparently he didn't get that, but anything that's on vinyl, he knows. It was wonderful to listen to this with my brother, because my brother knows Charlie Parker's solos, most of them note for note. He can sing them, and these were solos he had never heard before, and it was a treat to listen to it with him. So just want to share that with you. So I'm going to keep it short like that. Through my Bandcamp page, you can purchase Nice and get a free copy of Norman and the Rockwells Mental Health EP. Okay? Take care, y'all.